Hi, everyone, and welcome to Social Media in 60 Minutes a Day. Grow your brand without burnout. I'm Jana, and I'm so glad you're here today. Whether you're a small business owner, a freelancer, or a coach juggling a million things, I know exactly how overwhelming social media can feel. Maybe you've been posting without a clear plan. Maybe you've been told you have to be everywhere on Facebook, on Instagram, or LinkedIn, or TikTok, or even YouTube, and it feels impossible to keep up. Or maybe you're spending hours creating content, but the results just don't match the effort. And well, you know what? I get it because I've been there. Back in 2015 to 2016, when I was just learning social media, I thought the more platforms I was on, the more clients I could attract. So I signed myself up for everything, almost everything: Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and even YouTube. So the problem was I knew almost nothing about each platform. So can you imagine that? I spread myself too thin on these platforms that I know so little about. And because of that, I was doing poorly on every single one. It was frustrating. I got discouraged because I got no results, and honestly, it made me wonder if I was even cut out for this. But over time, well, I learned my lesson the hard way, and that lesson is that more platforms doesn't mean more clients. So, in other words, more eyeballs doesn't mean the right crowd. So, what actually works is having a simple, focused system that you can do consistently without burning out. And that's what this workshop is all about. If you've just got in, please note this is a pre recorded workshop. If you have questions, please feel free to send them by email. I'll be standing by answering your questions in the next hour. So that's hello at Freelance Biz Ninja. All right, so the truth is, you don't have to spend hours every single day on social media to grow your brand. When you focus on the right platforms, the right type of content, and the right habits, you can show up consistently, build your presence, and still have a life outside of social media. So, by the end of this workshop, you will walk away with a clear 16-minute a day plan to focus on the right platforms for your business, create content pillars so you'll always know what to post, follow a quick daily engagement routine that builds real connections, and last but not the least, use free or low cost tools that save you time. And don't worry, I'll make this practical, not overwhelming or complicated. So you'll leave here with the action steps you can start using right away, whether you're brand new to social media or just need a fresh approach. So grab your notes, get comfortable, and let's dive in. Okay, let's start with one of the biggest mistakes I see business owners make when it comes to social media, and that's a mistake I made myself, and that is trying to be on every single platform or every shiny platform. So, well, I know the temptation because it feels like the more places you show up, the more people will see you. But the reality is, spreading yourself too thin doesn't help your growth. You might even be attracting the wrong crowd. So it just leads to exhaustion, inconsistency, and eventually burnout. When you're stretched across too many platforms, your energy gets diluted. So instead of building momentum, you end up posting randomly and feeling like you're always behind. Plus, all of your energy and hours, they all go to these social media platforms, and you end up neglecting the other moving parts of your business and maybe even your life. So here's my challenge for you today. I want you to choose just one or two platforms that will actually move the needle for your business. Not five, not even three, just one or two, where you'll go all in for the next 90 days. Now, you might be wondering, how do I know which platforms are right for me? So I'll break it down for you with three simple questions, the questions that you see on your screen, which you can write down uh, on your notes. Okay, so question number one: where is my audience hanging out? If your ideal clients are professionals, consultants or other businesses, then LinkedIn is absolutely the best place to be. If you're targeting millennials or Gen Z, then Instagram and TikTok are usually where they're spending most of the time. But of course, this is not a rule that's set on stone. You still have to dig deeper to research where they are, where your audience is. Okay. So think about your dream client, not just where you like to hang out. And well, think about which platforms you got most of your present clients or customers, then double down on those platforms. Okay, so question number two: what type of content do I enjoy creating? So this one is just as important as where your audience is, because if you hate creating the type of content that performs best on that platform, you'll never stay consistent. So, for example, if you love making short videos and you're comfortable on camera, TikTok or Instagram Reels will feel natural. If you'd rather write posts, share articles, or create graphics, then LinkedIn or Facebook might be a better fit. Although you can do videos on all platforms. So that means don't get on TikTok if you hate creating videos. But if you really need to be there and you don't like creating videos, you can hire someone to make them for you. All right. Question number three: what can I realistically manage right now? So, this is the question most people skip, and it's why they burn out. You might want to be everywhere, but do you really have the time to consistently post, engage, and show up in multiple places? Because if not, it's better to do one platform really well than be on five platforms and perform poorly. Because consistency on one channel beats inconsistency on many channels. Now, let me give you a few quick platform highlights to make this easier. The Facebook is great for communities, for local businesses and groups. If you want to build a loyal audience that interacts in conversations, this is a strong choice. So, um, if you have a local business, then Facebook is a great place to be. You can target local customers or clients. Instagram is best for visuals, lifestyle brands, coaches, and anyone who wants to showcase both personal and professional sides of their brand visually. This is Instagram is the best place. Okay, LinkedIn is ideal for building authority, networking, and generating B2B leads. If you want to be seen as an expert, this is where you should be. And TikTok, it's perfect if you want fast visibility and you're open to creating short, creative, and entertaining videos. Okay, and just a reminder, you don't need to be where everyone else is. You need to be where your people are, just like I said earlier. It's not about what or where you want to be, but rather more about who you serve and where they hang out. So here's an action step for you. Okay, take a minute right now, grab your notebook, and write one or two platforms that you'll focus on for the next 90 days. If you're here live, I'll give you a moment to think about it and write it down. And remember, committing to one or two platforms doesn't mean you're ignoring the others forever. It just means you're creating focus and momentum. So once you've mastered one, you can always add another later. But for now, let's make it simple. Simplicity is our best friend right now. All right, once you're done, uh, keep your notes for later. All right. Now we'll move on to content pillars. So now that you know which platform or platforms you'll focus on, the next big question is, what should I post? This is where most people get stuck. They open their app, stare at the blinking cursor, and think, what do I even say today? So that's when you end up posting something random, or worse, you don't post at all. So the secret to solving this problem is having content pillars. So think of pillars like the foundation of your house. Without them, the structure is shaky, but with them, everything stands strong. So, content pillars are simply 3 to 4 themes that represent your brand. They act like buckets you can always pull ideas from, so you're never starting from scratch. So, the content pillars you can see on the left side of the screen. The first content pillar is the value, or we can call this education, because it is where we can teach something useful. We can share a tip, a how to, an industry secret, or a resource. So these posts show your audience that you know your stuff and you care about helping them. So for me, for my digital marketing business, an example would be posting something like 3 quick ways to improve your LinkedIn profile in under 10 minutes. And number two content pillar, it's called engagement, also known as community. So these posts invite conversation. So you can post questions, you can run polls, you can share something relatable or even a little funny. So this is about starting two-way conversations. It's not just broadcasting. So you could ask a question like, if you could only use one social media platform for the rest of the year, which one would you choose and why? So this encourages your followers or fans to engage through comments. And content pillar number three is called authority, also known as proof. This is where you can show your results, testimonials, client success stories, or even behind the scenes of your process. These posts build trust and credibility, and they answer the question, why should I work with you? So an example would be a screenshot of clients' results after working with you, with a caption telling the story behind it, or a client testimonial, which of course should be used with permission. And content pillar number four is personal, or your brand story. So you can share your journey, your values, or the reason you do what you do, why you chose that business, and so forth. This is how people connect with you as the person and not just as the business. So remember, people buy from people they trust, and they can only trust you if they know it's a real person on the other side of the screen or behind the business. So you can ask yourself, does your story make you look trustworthy? Does it connect to your business? Does your story prove that you can deliver on what you promised? The beauty of content pillars is once you have them, you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you post. You just rotate through your pillars, mix and match, and you'll always have a full calendar of content. So here's an activity to build your content pillars. So let's make this practical. So please grab a notebook or open a document or your computer, whichever way you prefer to do this. And on the right side of the screen, you see 3 steps there. So that's the activity we're gonna do. Write down the 4 categories I just shared. You can even take a screenshot of this screen if you wanna uh, do this while I'm explaining the rest. But if you want to focus, you can take a screenshot and do this later. So write down the 4 categories I just shared, which are also on the left side of the screen, the content pillars, so value, engagement, authority, and personal. And under each category, brainstorm 3 to 5 post ideas that fit your business. Okay, you don't have to overthink it. It can be messy, that's fine. Just write down what comes to mind. So, for example, if I was doing mine, I'd say for value, maybe a quick tip for clients, if they ask the same questions, then I can create probably a quick tip for that about that question. Under engagement, maybe a fun question that I'd love to ask them. For authority, maybe I can share my own win or a client story with permission. And under personal, maybe why I started the business or a challenge that I overcame. Okay, right? Those are one example each, but try and make 3 to 5 post ideas. Okay, and number three, circle your top 3 to 4 pillars that feel most natural to you. And maybe you love teaching, so you'll double down on value, or maybe you're all about stories, so personal and authority become your strengths. Okay, so please don't skip this step because by the end of today, I want you to have a working content plan. It's gonna help you make content and not run out of ideas. Okay, so another way to do this, to make it even simpler, is once you have those content pillars, once you've circled the 3 to 4 that feels natural to you, you can map them out on your calendar. Just take out your planner or maybe just write down on your notes on a notebook and you can fix that later. So, for example, you can do Monday value post, maybe Wednesday will be engagement post, Friday will be interchangeably authority or story post. So that's 3 posts a week, totally manageable, right? So if you repeat that every week for a month, you suddenly have a consistent strategy without the stress of, daily guessing. So and here's the secret. Well, it's no longer a secret. If you post just twice a week, and if you're consistent and your post is high quality, you'll get better results than posting every single day for 2 weeks and then disappearing for a month. So write down your 3 to 4 content pillars, then commit to testing them for the next 30 days. So after a month, look at what you posted, and check the engagement and adjust if needed because over time your pillars will evolve with your audience and you will have to adjust, but for now this is your guide to give you a clear list and a view of how consistent you can be. All right, now that you know what to post and you've got your content pillars in place, let's talk about something just as important, if not more important than posting, and that is engagement. Okay, so posting alone won't grow your business. You can put out amazing content, but if you don't engage with your audience, your posts won't reach very far and your followers won't feel connected to you. Social media is exactly what the name says. It is social. It's a two-way street. So like think about it this way: if you walk into a networking event and you just hand people your business card without saying a word, how far do you think will that get you? Not very. But if you take the time to smile, introduce yourself, ask questions, and actually listen, people will remember you. So the same is true online. That's why I created this simple 15-minute daily engagement strategy or system that anyone can follow, even if you're busy. So on the screen, you can copy that. So the 15-minute system goes like this: for 5 minutes, reply to comments and messages. So always start with the people who are already showing interest in you. When someone leaves a comment, reply. When someone messages you, respond. And this builds trust and keeps conversations alive. So the next 5 minutes is for engagement. For engaging with people other than those in your circles. Which you the first 5 minutes. So you have to pick 3 to 5 accounts in your niche or target audience, like their posts, and leave meaningful comments. So meaningful, which means beyond just nice post or good job, because they're easy to drop. Those comments are easy to drop, but something that adds to the conversation so that you get noticed and you're not spammy at the same time. Okay. And the last 5 minutes, connect with new people. Join a Facebook group or LinkedIn group. Search a hashtag on Instagram. Scroll TikTok for your niche. Follow one or two people each day, those who are in your niche, and introduce yourself if it feels right. So over a month, that's 30 to 60 new connections. So that's it. It's just 15 minutes. It's not an hour, not a half day, not even 30 minutes. So just 15 minutes of intentional activity that compounds over time. Okay, so let's make this real. Yeah, so grab your notepad again or open a new tab of document right now and do this. I'm sorry, not document. I mean your social page, and you can write this down for later also. So spend 2 minutes. Well, for the sake of this presentation, you don't need to spend 2 minutes, but go quickly to your social media and spend a few seconds or a minute replying to one comment or message you've been putting off. Okay, if you don't have one, write a thank you comment or something positive on a client or friend's recent post. So these are people in your circles, people you know. Okay, so once that's done, okay, now spend time commenting on someone else's content. So leave one thoughtful comment like, I love the way you explained this. I've struggled with that before, and your tips really helped me. So make sure it is true that the tips helped you. Okay, don't be spammy, be real, right? And lastly, spend a few seconds or a minute searching a hashtag or group related to your niche and write down 1 to 2 accounts, okay, or groups you want to engage with this week. So this is for later. Okay, so I hope we're all done. So that's the mini version of the 15-minute engagement strategy that you can do every day. So you see how simple and doable this is. Imagine if you do this every day and you'll have new connections every day, or 30 to 60 if you do 2 connections per day, right? So here's why this works so well. Most people treat social media like a billboard. So they post, they promote, and then they vanish. But the algorithms reward interaction. So the more conversations you start and respond to, the more your content gets shown. And beyond algorithms, there's something even more powerful, and that is relationships. People don't buy from posts, they buy from people. So when we post something, they don't buy because we posted, they buy because we consistently show up in their comments, we respond to their messages and start conversations, and that's what build the trust over time, and they begin to trust you, right? So that's how strangers become followers, and followers become leads, and leads become clients. So don't underestimate the power of just 15 minutes a day. So over a month, that's more than 7 hours of focused engagement strategy, or focused relationship building. Or maybe over a year, that's 90 plus hours of building connections without even feeling burned out. I don't think you're going to be burned out in just 15 minutes. So another thing you can do, you can take out your calendar or planner right now and block a recurring 15-minute slot each day for engagement. So it could be first thing in the morning, during your lunch break, or right before you log off at night. Treat it like an appointment you can miss. Okay, so if you can do that right now, so it reminds you, you have a reminder on a daily basis. You open your Google Calendar and put in a task or an event if you like. Okay, but if you're the type of person who gets distracted on social media, you can set a timer on your phone for 15 minutes, and when it buzzes, you're done. So simple, effective, and sustainable, right? Okay, again, those who just got in, this is a pre recorded workshop. If you have questions, you can send them to me via email. I'll be waiting on the other side, replying to your comments while this workshop is going on. So my email is hello@freelancebizninja.com. So now you've got your platforms chosen, your content pillars mapped out, and your 15-minute daily engagement strategy in place. But the question, okay, probably the question that you also ask, this is, I hear this all the time, is how do I actually make this easier? How do I save time? Because even with all of this information, I feel like it's still overwhelming. I feel like it's still a lot of work. I still have to think about them. And that's where tools come in. So the truth is, you don't need a big budget or expensive software to run your social media like a pro. There are plenty of free or super low cost tools that can help you plan, create, and schedule your content so you can stop feeling like social media is taking over your life, right? So uh, I have four categories here: the free and low cost tools to save time. Category one is content creation tools. You probably heard most of them, or maybe you're even using most of them. Okay, so for content creation tools, it's Canva. There's a free plan and there's a pro plan or a paid version. It's good for graphics, for creating graphics, carousels, and quick branded visuals. So compared to Photoshop, it doesn't take a long time to learn because they have templates that you can use. And there's CapCut. It's also free. It's for video editing, for adding captions, and they also have templates you can choose from. And Unsplash and Pexels is a website where you can get free stock photos and videos when you need them so that you are not using copyrighted items. So these tools help you create polished content fast, even if you're not a designer. All right. The second category, that's content planning and scheduling tools. That includes Meta Business Suite. It's free and it comes with with your Facebook account when you create a page, so you can schedule posts for Facebook and Instagram. And there is Buffer. The free plan includes up to 3 channels, right? So since we are talking about 1 to 2 platforms, uh, Buffer is good. You know, if you're not using Facebook and Instagram, you can use Buffer for scheduling. And then there's Later. Okay, it's also free. There's also a free plan. Uh, it's a visual planner that's great for Instagram aesthetics. If you have LinkedIn and you're on X, they have their own scheduling option, like just like a Meta Business Suite for Facebook and Instagram. LinkedIn has an option to schedule. So does X. Okay, so you just have to select which tool works for you for scheduling. Okay, so these tools help you batch your content and free up your mental space so you don't have any last minute, what do I post today stress. Like you're thinking, oh, I don't have post today because you've already scheduled the whole week or a whole month, right? And the next category, that's research and idea tools. I'm not sure if you've been using Answer the Public or if you've heard about it, but this is the free version. Allows limited searches. You can find questions your audience is asking about your industry, right? You can base your posts on those. And Google Trends is free. You can see topics that are trending. Okay. Hashtag generator tools. Okay, there's many of them online. These tools can save time finding relevant hashtags, right? So these tools also help you to never run out of content ideas. All right, and last but not the least, it is the engagement and efficiency tools. So that includes Chat GPT. I know some people don't like using Chat GPTs or AI, but well, if you're using online services, Chat GPT is good for helping you draft captions, brainstorming ideas, and refining posts. You just have to be careful when using it, especially for specific, like statistics, numbers, information. You have to verify, right, that they are correct. Right? Don't treat Chat GPT like the genius. You are the genius. All right. Chat GPT is a tool. All right, and the other one is Notion or Trello or Asana. Okay, they have free versions. You can use these for organizing your content calendar, and there's Grammarly. So, with the free version, you can quickly check your spelling or grammar for your captions. Okay, especially if English is not your first language. So, these tools help you work smarter, right? Okay, so let's try something right now. So if you don't already have it, open Canva in another tab. Well, you can write this down for later, especially if you don't have a Canva account, so you can sign up later and just search. You can take a screenshot of this page of this screen, so you can refer to it later on. Search for the social media post template once you open Canva and pick one that catches your eye. And in the text box, type your business name or a motivational quote for your audience, and then download it and save it. And boom, you just created a branded social media post in under 5 minutes. So that is how easy it can be once you really start using these tools. Okay, so an important reminder is tools don't replace strategy. Don't think that you have the tools. Now you can leave it all up to the tools. You still need to know your audience. You still need to create your content pillars and your uh, engagement plan, right? You're still the brain of the operation, okay? Tools just make your work faster and easier, okay? So think of it like cooking. You can chop everything by hand with a tiny knife, but why would you do that when you can use a sharp chef's knife or a food processor? So tools don't change the recipe, but they make the process less stressful and more enjoyable. So with the tools, the social media tools that I just showed you, it can make your work feel lighter and simpler, right? So that you can stay more consistent. And consistency is what leads to growth, right? So include on your notes, include 1 to 2 tools from today's list that you're going to start using this week. Don't try them all at once because that's going to be overwhelming. Okay, you can start small and then build from there. Well, except of course if you are already adept, you already know these tools. So if you don't have a design tool, for example, you can start with Canva, right? If you're struggling with consistency, you can start with Meta Business Suite or Buffer, so you can schedule your posts ahead and not think about them for a week or a month, right? Or if you're running out of ideas, you can start with Answer the Public, right? Pick one tool, learn it, and let it save you time before you add another. Okay. Oh, wow. Look at what we've covered today. So it's almost 40 minutes. And I hope that you're feeling lighter now. Okay? Now that you have a simpler, repeatable system that will only take you about 16 minutes a day, right? So let's do a quick recap of what you now have. You've chosen number one. You've chosen one or two platforms where you'll focus your energy instead of trying to be everywhere. I hope you've written down one to two platforms that you can focus on in the next 90 days, and you've learned how to create content pillars. So I hope you also have your content pillars pinned down so you never run out of what to post. Thirdly, you've built a 15-minute daily engagement strategy to connect strategically with your audience. Okay. And fourth, you've discovered free and low cost tools to save time and reduce stress. And those tools I showed you, those are not the only tools. There's tons of them. And the question is, how do you turn all of this into consistent action? Because, learning is great. There's so much learning we can do. We can we can fill our brains with all the information that we can find on the internet, but results come from implementation, from actually practicing what we learned. So right now, I want you to grab your notebook again and write down these three questions and take a moment to answer them honestly. Right? If you can do them now, you can do them later, but make sure you answer them honestly. Okay, so the first question right there on your screen: which platforms will I commit to for the next 90 days? Number two, what will my 3 to 4 content pillars be? Number three, what's one tool I'll start using this week to save time? So take a minute to think about it, right? And well, this reflection will turn your idea into a personal a small action plan, right? You can expand it later on. So for the next 90 days, commit to those two platforms or one platform, right? And your content pillars and the tools that you'll be practicing. Okay, so let's answer the question earlier, like, how are we gonna make this work, right? So how are we actually gonna make it work? So, okay, first, the 60 minutes a day, break that down to 30, 15, 15. So this means 30 minutes, spend that for creating, scheduling, okay, your content, right? Now 15, use the 15 minutes to engage. So we have the 15 minutes daily engagement strategy. Use that, okay? That's the use of that. It's 15 minutes. And 15 minutes, in the last 15 minutes, use that to learn and improve your skills. So it could be Canva, could be CapCut, could be scheduling, how to schedule or creating your accounts on platforms like Buffer, stuff like that. Okay, and stick to your 1 to 2 platforms only, and show up consistently even if you don't feel ready or your content isn't perfect. And why 90 days? Because social media growth isn't overnight. You're not gonna wake up tomorrow and expect it to already be viral or something like that. We're not working on content to be viral, but for our content to be effective and to attract the right audience. So in 90 days, you can build momentum and you can start seeing engagement and actually feel confident in your system. The beauty of this approach is that once 90 days are up, you will have proof that you can manage social media without burnout. So that's the confidence boost that will carry you forward for probably another 90 days, maybe 6 months, or maybe the entire year. Okay, so before we wrap up, let's make this super practical. Write down one small step you'll take in the next 24 hours. Okay, we've been talking about what you will do the whole week. We've been talking about what you'll do the whole month and 90 days. But this one is particularly for today, the next 24 hours after watching this workshop. Okay, so write down one small step you'll take in the next 24 hours. Maybe it's creating a Canva post, maybe setting up a Meta Business Suite for scheduling, or whatever scheduling app you choose to sign up for. Okay, or maybe drafting your first week of content based on your pillars. Okay, whatever it is, keep it simple and doable. It doesn't have to be complicated, because small steps done consistently create big results over time. Okay, so I want to leave you with this, right? Social media doesn't have to feel like a chore. When you focus on the right platforms, share content that aligns with your pillars, and use tools to simplify the process, it can actually become fun. And more importantly, it can grow your business without burning you out. Right? So, thank you for spending this time with me today. I am so proud of you for showing up for yourself and your business. And remember, you don't need to do everything, you just need to do the right things consistently. I can't wait to see the momentum you'll create in the next 90 days. And feel free to share them with me by email or by dropping comments on posts on my Facebook page. Have a great day.